if you don't eat it 6 times a week, it doesn't cost that much. And in fact, when it's on sale at Costco or at Trader Joe's or wherever, I buy an extra couple packages and I have it when I want it, okay? It's just like buying organic food. Like, people's complaint is it costs too much. But if you're making better choices, if you're buying an organic apple or whatever, not all foods have to be purchased organic. Many, things like apples, strawberries, that's a food that you want to buy organic because they spray it numerous times, and those toxins, pesticides, herbicides, insecticides are on the food, and you're eating them. Okay. There's other kinds of foods like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage. They don't spray that much because bugs don't like to eat them because guess what? They don't like it. Okay. But they do like strawberries, and they do like apples and other kinds of things. So, and bananas, like avocados, you don't have to buy organic avocados. It's got a thing on it. Wash it. Wash the food. Things like that. That really helps, and you can wipe off a lot of stuff. And when you wash, why you wash an avocado? Because the chemicals, and you don't even know what's on this stuff. You wash the thing, only takes you, 15 seconds. You wash the stuff off the avocado. You split it, you cut it, things like that. The food that you eat earlier in the day is metabolized much easier and more efficiently than foods that you eat later in the day. This is a research that I just saw this last week. I mean, it's like you eat a king like a breakfast, right? Eat like a king at breakfast, a prince at lunch, and a pauper at supper, and that goes back probably 500 years, but it's true. And for some reason, if you eat the same amount of calories, say you eat 2,000 calories in a given day, if you eat them more in the morning, you will lose more weight as a result of eating your calories earlier in the day. It has something to do with circadian rhythms, light, and all kinds of other intrinsic physiological things that take place. So you're better off eating, you're better off eating more in the early part of the day. Sleep. See, it's all part of the lifestyle, okay? It's all part of being aware of what's going on. Sleep. We need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. I'm sure, Kelly, with all your kids, you probably get about 10, right?
At least, and working.
And working, and all the other things that people do. It's difficult for most people to get that kind of rest, but we should aim to get, because between those periods of time, if you can get 7 hours of sleep, I mean, if you get less than 7 hours of sleep, you're more prone to have some kind of disease. And if you get more than 9 hours of sleep, you're more prone to have a disease. So sleeping too much is also a problem, as well as sleeping too little is a problem. So everybody knows they should sleep, but it's such a key part of fitness and weight loss and changing your metabolism and being healthy and being clear-minded. It's just remarkable. I come up with this, what I call it the law of substitution. It's like how if you eat a certain type of food or you do a certain type of behavior, I always try to come up with a substitute if you're going to extract it. If you decide tonight that you're going to not eat cheese, let's say, or you're not going to eat candy bars anymore, what can I do instead? If you leave it empty, you're probably going to go back to that substance. It's like an alcoholic. If they don't fill it with something else, and when I worked with an alcoholic or drug addict, and I said, you're going to have to fill your life with something other than alcohol, because you can't hang out in the bar anymore, and you can't hang out with your dope addict friends in the house anymore, because what if you do, you're going to be using again, and then you're going to be dead. And I'm a little bit emphatic right now, and that's how I was. okay? Because I was trying to get the message across to people who are on the road to kill themselves. So I said, okay, what can we do? What can you choose to do that you can substitute for what you're doing now? What can you choose some other kind of thing? Can I choose an apple or a pear over a candy bar? It's sweet. Yeah, I think so. I think, you know, you can choose to eat a banana, right? And it's much more nutritious. What I'm saying is that if you take a negative food out, put a positive food in its replacement. You know, find something as an alternative until you get, you know, focused in on what you need to do. It's like, if you take out alcohol from an alcoholic, that's basically their life. I mean, they may go to work, and they may cut the grass, but alcohol is in the back of their mind or in the front of their mind, and they go to work, and they're thinking about when they get off at 4 o'clock, they're thinking about their drinking. Okay? So if you take alcohol out, I used to get people to run, jog, work out, meditate, whatever. I didn't care if it was canoeing. I said, get in the damn canoe and use it. I mean, do what you gotta do to keep you. I mean, you gotta go to AA. You're gonna need some. You need some psychological help to help you get through this process. But you also have to find out what you can do. You know, join up. Who cares? But as long as it's positive, you know. But you're not going back. You know how many people have told me, I'm going to go back and see all my buddies in the bar. And I say, yeah, okay. So what do you want me to do next? Where do you want me to pick you up, or you want me to call you? What hospital are you going to be at? Because that's what happens. So find a substitute for a food, for an activity, for something that you do. It's like people, places, and things. If you hang around with people who drink and you can't drink, you're going to drink. So you don't hang around with these people. You don't do things that cause you to drink. If you go to a ballpark and you drink, you can't go to the ballpark anymore. You can't hang out with those kinds of people. You can't do things that you used to do. If you go to McDonald's to eat lunch every day, find another alternative. Find another place. Make your own lunch. And bring it. Another thing I would suggest that you exercise vigorously. Tim's been waiting for the last 45 minutes for me to say this. And he said, Mike, if you don't put it in there, I'm going to exercise vigorously. To talk about the attributes of exercise, it's almost, you know, I could spend an hour doing that. But body, mind, spirit, movement is the key to health. Okay? And I'm all for fitness, going for fitness. I'm all for taking up fitness. It means going someplace and working out for an hour a day, or an hour several times a week. But you have to do something else besides that. It's a major key to health, because when you exercise, I mean, how many times do you come in here sort of feeling, and then you walk out saying, okay, I'm ready, right? Because your body is making biochemical changes. Things are transforming in your body. But what you also have to understand is that we evolved moving and working, moving our bodies. We didn't sit behind desks, sit behind cars. We used to work in fields, be farmers, you know, moved. We were movers. We lived in jungles, we lived in forests, and now we don't do any of that stuff. So, I don't care what it is. You can walk, you can swim, you can play pickleball, you can play tennis. You need to find something that you do outside of it. You know, what do you do when you go on vacation? I mean, if you're away from here for a week or two, I mean, you still gotta be fit, right? So you go someplace, you go out and walk, you know, you go up and climb a hill, you do things. But whatever you can do, you should institute something that you can do on a regular basis that you can do. When my kids were young, we'd throw them in a buggy and push them through a park. You know, you're working all day, you come home, and you gotta, then as they got older, they went on their bikes, and we continued to walk, and to this very day do the same kind of thing, you know. And if you can find somebody to do it with, like a spouse or a friend, or somebody you get in an argument with, I don't care. As long as if you need somebody to help you do it, it's like, okay, we're gonna meet at the corner and we're gonna walk, we're gonna go to the park, and we're gonna play pickleball on Sunday nights over here at Challenge Fitness, okay? We're gonna do something, you know? Or I'm gonna go swim, you wanna, you know? Because if I decide that I'm not going, and the other person most likely, no, I'm going, and you're going too. And that's okay. There's nothing like motivating, outside motivation. Some of the things I need to talk about is that psychology plays a lot to do with the choices that we make about life, obviously. But I mean, it also has a lot to do with the food choices that we make. Some of us, I found out in many different ways that, you know, people have been abused. People have been sexually and physically and emotionally abused at times in their life. And this leads us to sometimes do things that, to compensate for things that have happened to us. Loneliness and abuse and self-esteem. We're not good enough, so we choose to do things that are harmful to us. Maybe eating something that maybe not what we should eat. I always say, you know, if we do things, we should try to find out why are we, eating a pound of chocolates. Maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe there's something going on that we can try to figure out what's happening. We're feeling lonely, we're feeling upset, or somebody left us, or somebody didn't leave us, or whatever the case may be. But it's really important that you sort of tap into why you're doing things, so that you're not only healing on a physical level, but you're also doing an emotional healing as well. That you're looking at the issue. What put me in this position? Why did this happen to me? Or why is this situation the way that it is? And when you look at it and you can survey it, you may come to some conclusions that, hey, I think I'll go talk to my priest. Or I'm going to go talk to a pastor. I'm going to go talk to somebody. Maybe they can, or I'm going to talk to my best friend and we can, iron it out. There's nothing wrong with that kind of stuff. Because what happens is that life becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. If we make wrong choices, wrong things are going to happen to us. And sometimes, and when you get on that, it's, I hate to keep on using the reference, but if somebody who is addicted, they will continually make wrong choices. And then they keep on making the same wrong choices. And then it becomes self-defeating behavior. And then when they come to recognize that I keep on sabotaging myself, and why am I doing this? Because it's reinforcing what I think about myself. I don't need to do that. I am going to show up in the gym on Monday, despite the fact that I had an argument with somebody. Or I had a disagreement with somebody. I'm going to keep on making those kind of choices because it's better that I do that. And then you work your way through it, and you come out on the better end of it as well. It's okay to take a look and reflect on ourselves. We've got so many distractions. We've got TV. You can watch that all day and all night, and turn on a Hallmark movie, and see how life really is when you watch one of those, right? Don't laugh. I like that.
She's gonna cry.
is that energy begets energy. What I mean by that is when you eat right, when you take care of yourself right, and when you move right, you'll want to move more. And when you move more, it's, you don't get tired. I mean, you get to a certain point in life when, I've been working all day, been doing this, and I'm really not that tired, okay? And it doesn't make any difference if, people say at 20 or 30, I'm tired, okay? Move some. I mean, go outside, get some air, throw a snowball at yourself, whatever the case may be, but move, okay? But when you have, energy begets more energy. I say, I have had a couple of handouts if people want them. Educate yourself. Think about what you put inside your body. Think about the substances, that we surround ourselves with, in the environment that we surround ourselves with. It's really important that you put yourself in charge of you. This is critical because when you put yourself in charge of you, then you're responsible for the choices that you make and not someone else. Someone else can say to you, hey, Tim, I don't like you, you stink. And you could say, Tim could say, well, you can go jump in the lake, Mike. Or Tim could say, oh, that's Mike, forget about him, right? It depends on how you interpret it, and it's based on how you feel about you. It really does make a difference. So, educate yourself. Read books, magazines, things that... I started reading Prevention Magazine at 18. So I can remember, I picked up this magazine. What's this? Does prevention even exist today? But that was over 50 years ago. And I said, wow, this is really interesting stuff. They talk about food and farming, organic farming, and supplementation and things like that. But doing those kinds of things really opens the door to learning more and challenging yourself as well. Because I've changed my view on diet, over the years. The last thing I want to leave you with is that being healthy and implementing change in your life is about lifestyle. It's about living and making the right kind of choices on a daily basis. And am I saying that it's easy? No, not necessarily. But it becomes easier the more that you do it. It's like exercise. When you first started exercising, was it easy? Heck no, right, Jeanette? I mean, it wasn't easy. Yeah. Now, the difference. And it's the same thing when you say, I'm going to make a choice and I'm going to live this way. I'm going to live more consciously. I'm going to make better choices. I want to do, more things. I want to be more active, and it becomes more of a lifestyle. And only you can look inside of you and tell yourself what that is. I can't tell you what that is. I could, if you and I sat down and talked about it, I could help you with that process. But you have to sit down with you and figure out what you need to do for you to make it better. If you want to. Because if you don't want to, that's okay too. But I wouldn't think you'd be here unless you probably want to make some changes somewhere. So, appreciate your attention. There's a couple of handouts. I don't think I have enough for everybody, so if you don't want one, that's okay. If you do want it, I have a list of authors and people that would behoove you to look at and do some research. You can go online and do most of that stuff yourself. And I gave Tim an outline of things that I'd suggested, some dietary things, if you would like that. So, appreciate your attention and thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.